Good morning, friends. Warm welcome to SME Channel's series of conversation we have been doing for a long time on different topics with different leaders, be it channel leadership to marketing to C-suite executives. Today, my guest is Mr. Ganesan Arumugam. He is Director Channel Sales for India and SARC at NetApp. Mr. Ganesan, good morning and welcome to you, and thank you very much for taking time out to speak to SME channels.
Yeah, good morning, Sanjay. It's my pleasure to talk to you and your customers of SME channel. I'm always very, very proud to associate with you and your customers because it's a long association. We have more than a decade. I keep talking to your customers. It's a great honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesan. Before I proceed with my questions, let me just give a brief backgrounder of yours. Mr. Ganesan is a veteran, almost 2 decades of experience in this IT industry. His longest stint, I will say, was with VMware way back in 2009. Then he joined Semantic as director, partner, and commercial sales. Before landing as director channel sales in NetApp. So my first question to Mr. Ganesan is, what is the current situation of COVID-19? How do you see this market now?
Yeah, I think I'm sure all you might have read a lot of news on the COVID in newspapers and the various TV channels. It's quite alarming where the second wave is coming up. It's worse than what everybody has anticipated. It's, I think, it kind of struck the entire country without much notification. It's a very, very unfortunate situation we are all in. From the business point of view, one could, I won't call it as a good thing because in this kind of a things, like let's not use the word good, where all the entire population is going through the very, very difficult times. In this government, though they have done a selective lockdown, it's not the complete lockdown. The economic activity is continuing. Most of the businesses are functioning as normal with a lot of restrictions and other things. So it's the business side, it has not stopped. It's continuing. All our customers are interacting. And this is the time where all of us know very well it's about virtual working and the working from home culture. The new norm has come in. So it needs the intensity of the IT usage among our customers, the importance of getting into the new applications. It may be an VDI where you give the virtual desktops to the customers, and I mean the employees of the customers where they can work from home, and also giving them the access to the critical applications where they can work on even from home. So that opens up important question for the customers, because once they open up the critical applications, that means their important data also they're opening it up to the internet where the customers access it wherever they are in. So that brings a lot of security concern, and how will they make the data available in a secure way. So that's a critical question all the customers are facing, and we at NetApp also working with our customers in solving those issues.
All right, Mr. Ganesan, I know that this time is difficult, definitely, and it opens a Pandora box of opportunities for the channel, for the OEMs. But are you of opinion that the sentiment is right, the market sentiment, so also the channel sentiment, right at this moment?
Yeah, I think it's right. I think the channel maybe in the first initial, maybe the beginning of the last years, they little bit of tumbled in terms of how they will manage, because they expect the business to go down drastically. How will they manage their working capital and the cash flow? And I think there was a lot of concern in the first, I would say 2 or 3 months, that in the last year, March and April. And they redesigned or redeployed their workforces. They managed it very well, I would say, the channel, because their critical force still continue to work from office and serving their customers, because they are the my channel partners are the one who are front-ending and interacting with the customers, offering the services. Where there may be a critical services which they are offering, they may have to visit the customers and solve their problems, because IT is playing a critical role in this situation. They can't afford to say no to the customers. So they, I think, managed it pretty well, I would say. And also it has opened up a lot of service opportunities for the partners, which they really captured it and monetized it. because the customers are also looking at in terms of getting a better services from the partners. They want looking at a guy who can be immediately available, so that help partners in terms of building or cement their relationship with the customers in a much better way. And I'm not seeing I talked about initial days where they were worried about their cash flow on the order, but fortunately that did not happen. Most of the partners, more than 90% of the partners whom I have interacted in the last 6 months, I would say they have done extremely well in the year 2020. Year ended in March 2020. Even some of my partners told, when I met them in December, January, they said they already met their yearly plan where they had 2 or 3 months to spare. So they overachieved their plans, as I said, because of the importance of the IT, and the customers also were looking at deploying the new applications and the new hardware. That has opened up business for the partners. From that way, they captured it very well. And also over a period, they also may found out a way of how to manage and still run it. Maybe a work from home for the critical, and they made the offices available for the critical workforce to work from. So, and it's kind of a new norm of life coming, and it has much well settled among the partner community, I would say.
All right, Mr. Ganesan, you realize that the last year situation of COVID and this year situation of COVID are completely different. Um, w- w- from NetApp India perspective, what are you doing now to boost the moral, the business sentiment or business, ambit for the channel partners now and going forward, maybe for a couple of quarters?
Okay, a couple of things. Let me just start saying that what are these partners looking at from the OEMs,
Hmm.
from any OEMs? One is that obviously the partner recruitment is the one thing which we always look at it, and partners also look at it, which are the OEMs they need to select and focus on. So that is done. When I talk about my set of partners, we are married already. So they have selected us, and we have selected. The first phase is over. The second thing they look at it is in terms of how do I make my team able to go and sell the solution from NetApp in the market?
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
where the enablement comes into the picture.
Hmm.
So I would say this last 1 year, we have used it very efficiently in terms of skilling up our partners through the virtual training. Since a lot of time was available because of the thing, partners were also taken it up as a kind of a project to upskill their team, identify the new solution areas, how I can skill my existing team so that they were ready to offer those skills. It can be a VDA solution, or it can be a digital transformation, or it can be a new certification for their technical team. So we immediately opened up all our training programs, including those we were offering in person. Some of the high-end technical courses we used to offer it as a classroom training, that we converted into a digital virtual training. So which we offered it to our partners, which has helped them to upskill them. So that's the enablement part of it. Same way we have done our sales training also to our new partners and the existing partners on the enablement part of it. And the third thing is comes once they are enabled partners, always look at it, where do I go and find the market? So that's where our marketing activities, joint marketing activities, which we do with our partners, which we traditionally do it as a kind of a physical event where we conduct various seminars, or through publications like yours. We use your media to reach out to the customers and the partners, which I think we have done it very efficiently, converting it to a kind of a digital campaign. There are two things that happen, because when the entire world is accepting this is the way of life, so it's easy to get the customers attention in terms of through our webinars and the digital marketing campaign which we have done. It was well accepted, because if you same thing if you have done in a couple of years back, people customers were looking at, okay, I don't have time, only if there is an event they go and attend. So there's a kind of a mindset issue was there, or they were not used to it. Now the entire market is used to the virtual way of communication and the interaction. So that has really helped. And the second thing it resulted is that it has helped us in terms of saving a lot of cost. In terms of we were able to double our marketing activities, the number of customer events as a webinar what we have conducted, we have doubled it really through our partners,
Hmm.
and we were able to do it effectively. And we have not brought down our marketing spend last year. We continue to spend the same amount. So it has really helped us to reach more customers and support more partners in terms of generating the more leads for their business.
All
So
right.
these are the three things in some their partners were looking at, and I think we have focused on it and did extremely well in 2020, and we will continue to do the same thing in 2021 also.
Okay. Now, beyond this, there are other things as part of your offering or the channel program that you have, starting from onboarding to lead gen and closing the deal. You have got a whole lot of things. So, what is the kind of USP that you are offering as far as partner programs are concerned?
See, one is that we always, our partner program is focused in terms of how we can grow the business for our partners in terms of improving their top line, increasing
Mm,
their top line, bringing in more revenue. So we have clearly focused on a set of partners. We call it as a NetApp managed partner program. Under our unified partner program, we selected only the few partners who are loyal and committed and invested with NetApp. We also reciprocate with investment from our side in terms of the resources, whether it is manpower or whether our sales team alignment, or we do the joint planning exercise and our marketing MDF spend. So we are focused onto a few partners so that our strategy is clearly how we can grow deep with those committed partners rather than spreading it too thin with hundreds of partners. So that has really helped in terms of getting maximum return on the capital we have employed. Maybe in the stock market terms, if I see ROC, here the
mm,
capital is our resources, time, and the MDF dollars where we have invested, how we can get better returns. That's one thing which always partner look at it. We do that and as in a focused way. The second thing is that obviously all of us are in business to make profit. So the partners also keen how they can increase their margin. So there are a couple of things which we have done over here. We have brought in a lot of rebate programs, the back-end rebate programs for the partners. Whether the sale is a kind of a new sale, when they go and open up the new accounts, we have a separate rebate program called new account rebate program, where they get an additional dollars from us apart from the transaction margin. Or if they bring us the competitive accounts to us, and they we have a competitive takeout rebate program which is over and above the new accounts. Even apart from that, obviously for any business it is important for us to retain the customers. We know very well that the cost of acquiring a new customer is 5 times the cost of doing business with the existing customers. So we always look at it in terms of how do we go and retain our customer base. Of it is important for our partners also. So we have a program called Tech Refresh, where the partners to their existing customers where they go and do the refresh of their existing infrastructure. That's nothing but an upgrade. If they do with the latest models, then they get a separate rebate program. And also we come out, this is a kind of an organization level. And also in these difficult times, to motivate the front end sales team of the partners, we came out with a various partner sales rep incentive programs. For each and every opportunity they bring in, whether they win or not, if they bring in a new opportunity to us, there is an X amount of rupees they get an incentive through our distributors. And if they close it, that goes to the 3 times or 5 times, depending on the product size. So these are the things which we have done, making sure that they're still motivated and they are able to make a better margin with us. And the second thing what we have done is that, okay, all of us know very well in the beginning of the pandemic situation, last year, the cash flow and working capital become a big issue for the partners. So we came out with an extended credit TM for our distributors, who in turn passed on to the partners. So that
mm.
has really helped them to manage their cash flow in a better way. And we announced it for a quarter. Since the pandemic was not used, we kept on extending it. Even for this quarter, it is applicable.
All right. I think you answered my, last but third question about cash flow and how you are supporting the
Okay.
partners from the finance point of view. Now, then, before I ask the next question, I must ask another question in between is that how big is the market now? Storage market now, because storage market is not restricted to hardware. Now it is software and hybrid market as well. So how big is the market now?
See, I
How
don't
it is
have.
growing?
Yeah, I can give the growth numbers. What I read recently is that it's close to 8 to 10% is the Indian storage market is growing as
Okay.
per the IDC
Mm.
reports and the corner report which I have read. So that's the kind of a growth, and it's really a very good growth given the base which we have and the way the market is growing. And also it's opening up in terms of the new areas for us in terms of as customers migrate into the cloud. They're looking at how I can transfer my data to the cloud, but still able to manage it in a same way it was in my own data center. That's where the NetApp. One of the USPs we give it to our partners, maybe it's pertinent to the earlier question what you have said, is also is irrespective of the where the data is for the customer, whether it is on their own data center or it's in a public cloud or a private cloud, or it may be scattered into the multiple places. But still we give a solution, we call it as a data fabric, which gives a single pane of glass of view of the entire data wherever it is residing. So the customers will be able to manage it and administrate it much, much better. So that's a USP which we gave. And also we now offering various cloud-based services, whether it's a backup service or the DR services or cloud data management over the public cloud. How do we do that data migration? All those offerings we give it as a service offering. That's the one. And the second thing which we are doing is also kind of a, we call it as a workload initiative. As the customers are migrating to the cloud, they are looking at, okay, which are the workloads I migrated? How do I do it in a better way? Because the way you transfer the data of a SAP HANA may be different from your traditional application. How do I go and do that? So we have come out with the various workload initiatives. It may be an artificial intelligence and the machine learning kind of an application, or it can be a critical business critical application which they are moving, or it can be one of their edge or peripheral applications which they are moving in. So we come out with the various workload initiatives and specific skill up for our partners by providing the training in terms of how do you manage the data migration or the moving the applications or those particular workloads into the cloud, and how do you manage the data supporting those workloads. So those are the kind of a partner specialization is what we are moving into, rather than just telling the storage box. How do I go and sell it as a kind of a solution? The specialization on various areas we are scaling up our partners.
Mm. Okay, this leads to another question is that ransomware, which is creating havoc in the storage space. So going into primary, then secondary, then going, you take the customer takes backup, make copies. So what is your sense of, solutions that you are offering as far as ransomware protection is concerned?
See, if you really look at it, that mostly comes under the security. Most of the time, we are
Mm,
working with various closely with the various security vendors, and also we ensure that the data which we handle or which we store it, there is a kind of a inbuilt security solution we give it to our customers. Number one. Number two, when it comes to the backup and the DR, we work closely with multiple backup vendors, maybe Commvault, Beam, and now recently we signed up with Rubrik globally. So these are the vendors whom we have associated, and we are the OEMs for them, OEM suppliers for their solution. So we integrate it with our solution and offering it as a single point of solution to our customers.
mm. Okay. All right. Now, you spoke that 8 to 10% growth is happening as far as storage is concerned, enterprise
That is a
storage is
market,
concerned.
that's the overall market
Markets.
I'm saying.
Okay.
NetApp,
Absolutely.
we are growing faster than that.
Okay. Absolutely. Now, what are you doing in terms of marketing to tap the customers one side and the partner ecosystem on the other side? It has to, because you know that the customer growth has to be aligned with the partners of, in different geographies, in different sizes also.
Okay. See, as I said, we are continue to invest into the various marketing programs where we
Mm,
educate the customers on the latest technology or the solutions what we are offering through our various webinars. And this we are leveraging our partners by spending our marketing dollars through them. So we tell the partners, okay, you get your customers into the forum, 40 or 50 customers, and where we present it on our solution. Even last week, couple of webinars we did with the two partners. We are quite amazed in terms of number of participants. We had around 80 to 90 participants on a webinar. 80 to 90 companies participating on a webinar where we run it through the partner, which is very difficult even in the physical
mm,
event. We normally difficult to get 80 or 90, but it's much easier to do that. That's one thing we do. Apart from that, the various industry events which we participate. For example, last month we participated in Augmented Bar. They conducted a kind of a event today event for all their customers and for the participants, where we are one of the sponsors, where we have had a slot and we talked about the latest trends in the uh, data management available, and how we can help the customers in terms of overcoming the challenges today they are facing it in the data world.
mm,
That's we continue to do that. And also we work closely with our various OEM partners, not only our partners, even our OEM alliance partner, technology alliance partners, like Cisco is one of our major alliance partner. So we are participant in their Cisco partner event where we get a chance to address on how they can, along with the compute and the networking solution, what they are selling it from Cisco, how they can include the data management also and offer a kind of a entire end-to-end solution to their customers when it comes to the infrastructure.
Well, you pretty answered all the questions that these are following, except if you can add on something on the financial assistance that the OEMs normally are offering, because today what is happening, the turnaround time is becoming longer,
Yeah.
payment process is becoming longer. One side, I know that you spoke also that you are assisting the partners in terms of credits, but beyond that, what? Are you also offering them, in other sorts of financial
Yeah,
assistance?
yeah, that's one more thing I want to add. One is the financial assistant in terms of the extended credit we are offering. Another is that some of our solutions, we are moving it into the OPEX model. One is that obviously, one is the cloud services, which by default it comes as an OPEX where it is a monthly or quarterly. Even the customers who wants to procure the maybe a storage box in their data center where they want to offer it. Now we have come out with what is called as a Keystone offering, Keystone partnership program, where I and my partner can offer the entire storage platform to the customers and charge them on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis so that it becomes an OPEX for the customers. So it reduces the burden for both customer and the partner in terms of their cash flow. For example, instead of the customer spending $1 million on a storage solution which they are going in for, still they can deploy the same thing rather than paying an upfront $1 million down the entire value chain. It is broken up into the quarterly billing for them. So it becomes a OPEX for them, and it's a kind of gives them the flexibility also to start with maybe a small footprint of less storage space. I mean, what is required now, and keep on building on top of it. So it's a complete and OPEX model pricing which we are offering it to the customers.
Okay.
And this is available to the partners also. Maybe in the first case, what I discussed, there is an option in terms of whether the assets will be in the book of NetApp or in the book of partner. So we have both the options. So some partners who wants to make use of it, they want to take it on their books and offer it as a services to their various customers. That's also possible.
All right, Mr. Ganesan, I think you spoke pretty well about all my questions till the end also, the training part also. If you want to add anything around training or SaaS, picking up, the growth in SaaS market and alignment of the partners very quickly to this new normal or new model,
Yeah,
or
I think
else if you can, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think if you really look at it, maybe it's a couple of things which I want to add is here is that clearly the market trend is in terms of customers are looking at the digital transformation, though we were talking about for the last couple of years on the digital transformation from both enterprise customer as well as on the government side. But it's really taken up pace and the adoption rate has become much, much faster thanks to the pandemic situation. Customers are looking at in terms of how they can digitize their interaction with their customers in a much, much better way and efficient way. That has opened up a lot of opportunities for our partners in terms of deploying the new application and supporting the customers with those solutions and consulting and as well as the implementation services opportunity. The second thing is the cloud adoption. As a part of the digital transformation, clearly the cloud adoption is also become much faster. The customers are looking at there's no time for them to go and buy hardware, deploy and do that. How I can go and quickly deploy my new application and start interaction with my customers. So that has become a very, very critical. And though the cloud adoption, I would say it's become, but still the predictions from the IDC or any other research, it clearly shows that customer will continue to have their own private cloud in their data center on premises, as well as the public cloud. They will try to make use of the public cloud economy and the scale that's available. So it's predicted that 80-90% of the customers will end up having the hybrid cloud. So that opens up the challenge in terms of where I have multiple environment, how do I go and manage it better? That opens up the challenge for the customers, how I can manage my data in a better way in a hybrid environment. That's exactly where NetApp is positioned our solutions and help our customers and the partners in addressing their concerns when they are moving into the hybrid cloud. And the third thing is that it's very clear from the industry. I mean, all of us know very well in the IT industry, every 10 years or 15 years, there is a kind of a tectonic shift that happens in terms of the new technology coming in. If you really look at, turn back and look at it, it's a 2 decades back, it's a kind of a hardware was playing the key role or the center stage. That has become a critical part of any customers. That was a prime solution. Then everything else is built around that. They played a very, very small role, whether it's application or the data. And a decade back, 10 years after that, in the last I would say in the after 2000 is born, it's become more of application oriented. The customers were giving more importance to the application, deploying their ERP or the CRM application, the core banking application. We can see clearly seeing that that was playing the center stage. The hardware and the data, everything was becoming like a supporting role for the application. So the application get decided, then they say, okay, this is the application I'm going and implementing SAP for my ERP. What's the kind of hardware which gives me the better performance or the better fit into my solution? So application was on the center stage 10 years back. But if you look at it this decade, I would say clearly the data is being a center stage. The data is
Mm.
becoming an important for any business. Today, the business decisions or their profitability or their way they address their customers, the data is center stage. So
Mm.
customers are looking at, okay, this is the data I want. This is the data I need to do, yeah, for my business analytics. Is another big application that's getting the center stage. So the data is critical for any such a business to be successful today. And what kind of an application I go for. If this is the given the data which I have, I need to manipulate or I need to work on this data to get a better results for my business, then applications and the hardware play a kind of a supportive role to the data. The data, it may be may not be a hardware in their premises, it may be a cloud. Okay, fine. If
Mm.
there is a data available in the cloud, how do I go and harness those data and availability, use it for my business analytics? I can analyze the data and use it for my business purpose. So it's clearly the data is the center stage right now, and people are looking at how I go and better manage my data. So that's where I would lay the discussion now.
All right, Mr. Ganesan, before I just have a very small question, then I will,
Yeah.
conclude this discussion, which I forgot to ask you about the 5G. We have been talking a lot about 5G and edge computing, edge data centers. Since data centers are meant for the data only, the storage and churning of the data, right? So what is your sense of these edge data centers? Are they coming to India anywhere anytime soon, or there is a delay in, you know, edge data center happening?
No, I've not heard much about that. Maybe it may be too
Mm.
premature for me to comment on both the ways, whether it is coming soon or later. I would like to
Mm.
resolve this question. Maybe I can check it out because it depends on the government policies when they allow for those data. But if you really look at it, it's a matter of time. Any technology which is coming in, uh, which is need of the hour for the customers, it may take a little bit more time, even if there is a because of the pandemic or the delay in the government policies, but it will come definitely. That's what we have seen, the multiple technologies which is coming into the country.
No worries. Thank you, Mr. Ganesan. Arumugam, Director Channel Sales India and SAG for NetApp. Thank you for taking time out and speaking to SME channels. Be
Thanks,
safe.
Sanjay. Thanks for the opportunity. It's a great pleasure interacting with you.
Yeah, pleasure here too to speak to you after a long time.
Thanks.
Stay
Thanks,
safe.
Sanjay.